यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तमहदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्गपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधाम् बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितम् श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुम्। यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपीमनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपादेशतोऽद्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे। Now explaining what is karya avidya, meaning he says, the author now categorizes ignorance in two types. One ignorance is karana avidya, the causal ignorance. Ignorance by itself is cause of everything. Yet, in the present context, ignorance also can be seen as becoming a cause to ignorance. There is no other cause to ignorance. Ignorance is the cause of everything else. But there is something called as karana vidya and there is something called as karya vidya. How do we understand this? Though we have, this is our second or third day looking at this issue, yet to make this point clear, I will still, give you the same example. So the point is not only driven home, it stays with you. Knowing the snake, sorry, let's begin from here. Not knowing the snake, not knowing the rope is ignorance. Ignorance about that rope. Okay. Knowing the rope as rope is knowledge. Not knowing the rope is ignorance. Okay. Now on step number 2. Knowing the rope as a snake is still as good as not knowing the rope as rope. Correct? So even if you are able to comprehend it as a snake, yet You do not know that it is a rope. So therefore, the knowledge has not taken place. When it is not knowledge, then what is it? Ignorance. Now, therefore, now we see that even knowing the rope as snake is also ignorance. Okay. Now, look at the same thing from another angle. Why did you not know, or why are you knowing the rope as snake? Why are you knowing the rope as snake? Then the answer is because I did not know the rope as rope, and hence I am knowing it as snake. So which means not knowing the rope as rope is the cause, and knowing the rope as snake is the effect. Now this effect is also ignorance, and there is the cause of that ignorance, which is ignorance itself. So therefore now we are compelled to admit that there is something like Karana Avidya and there is something like Karya Avidya. Okay, this is a prakriya. There is something like Karana Avidya, which in other places they will also say as Mula Avidya, Karana Avidya and Karya Avidya. This Karya Avidya, now as an effect, right? Knowing the rope as a snake is the effect, and it is effect of what? Not knowing the rope. It is the effect of not knowing the rope. Let steps be very clear. So this Karya Vidya, the effect, the ignorance which is as if it is the effect of the causal ignorance, now is fourfold. How is it fourfold? So knowing something that is impermanent as permanent. Okay, this is one form. Knowing something that is unclean as clean, sanctified. Knowing something that is dukkharupa as sukharupa. And knowing something that is not the Atma as Atma. Knowing something that is not the self as self. These are the four expressions of this Karya Vidya. In this, we were on the first point where one said that everything, even the celestial world called as the Brahmaloka, is anityam. To which the Purva Paksha, the opponent, has is fighting his fort, and he says that Brahmaloka is nityam. How can you say Brahmaloka is anityam? And therefore, saying Brahmaloka is nityam is knowledge. It is not Karya Vidya. Because had Brahmalok to be anityam and then you were going to call it as nityam, then we can admit that it is Karya Vidya. But Brahmaloka is nityam. Who is saying this? The opponent. Brahmaloka is nityam and we are calling it nityam. Therefore, it is knowledge. It is knowledge. It is not Karya Vidya. So he says, no. The reason that the Shruti over there has said Brahmaloka is forever is not, it is not meant to tell that Brahmaloka is Nityam, that such a celestial world called as the Brahmaloka is Nityam. Then what is it meant for? It is meant to encourage the seeker to undertake the upasana, to undertake that devotional meditation. Okay, to undertake the upasana. That's why it is said so. Okay, so now he says that, and therefore it is only a prashansarthavad. It is not bhutarthavad. What is it? It is a praise. It is not statement of a fact. It is a statement of praise. Bhuta, it is prashamsarthavad. It is not bhutarthavad. Okay. Ato vidhi phalameva apekshate na tanityatvam api. Okay. Now, in order for a person to be encouraged to, to do that upasana, all that is required is the result. Whether that result is nityam or anityam is not important. Whether that result is nityam or anityam is not important. The result is there. The consequence is there. Brahmaloka is there or not? Yes, it is there. And therefore, there is a method of attaining the Brahmaloka, and that method is upasana. So, this particular vidhi, the injunction which shows you the method, now simply expects the phalam to be there. It doesn't expect that the phalam should be nityam. To say that when the Shruti has said that Brahmaloka is nityam, it is only what? A statement of praise. It is a statement of praise. And the statement of praise need not be treated as a statement of fact. Okay? Yesterday, just as I told you that if you are going to call your daughter, son, or wife, you are my sunflower, or you are my sunshine. Does that mean that he is a sunshine or something? That the statement of praise means that you delight me, you make my day very happy. Okay. Ato vidhi phalameva apekshate na nityatvam api. Therefore, underline that thing. So, therefore, that vidhi is expecting the phalam, Brahmaloka, to be there. Is Brahmaloka there or not? Yes, it is there. If it is there, what is the method? Upasana. If there is a method, what is it that is going to show you that method? The statements of injunction. And therefore, the vidhivakyas are phalavat. How are the vidhivakyas? They are phalavat because they bear the result. Okay, and therefore vidhi phalameva apekshate na tannityatvam api. Further on page number 85. Nacha brahmalokasya nityatva dosha darshanena tat sadhanopaasanayam avritya tad vidhayaka shastrasya apramanyam anarthakyancha prasajyeta iti vachyam. So also, now if you are going to say, sir, if you are going to find out that even the celestial worlds are also impermanent, then a person may not be interested in going to the heaven and the celestial worlds. And if he is not going to be interested in going to those celestial worlds, then even those sentences of the Veda which are giving that vidhi, they will become meaningless, insignificant, to be neglected. They will become apramana, anarthakyam, that it is meaningless. Apramanyam anarthakyancha prasajyeta. Why will apramanyam? Because that it is saying the Brahmaloka is nityam, but actually it is anityam. And therefore, now the Vakya does not have pramanyam. A. So also, just because it is anityam, now who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do the upasana. Therefore, it will become anarthakyam, that meaningless. Prasajyeta. Therefore, what all two doshas, two defects will immediately come. Which are these two defects? One is apramanyam and the other one is anarthakyam. Who is saying this? The Purva Paksha. Okay. Tarhi karma vidhayaka shastrasyapi tathatva prasanga. So now he says, this is the answer is this particular, the next line is an answer given. Answer given, I think. So then, so तर्हि कर्म विधायक शास्त्रस्यापि तथात्व प्रसंगात्. Now what will happen? He says that you simply want to retain. The teacher, the Vedanti is telling the Purva Paksha that you want to retain the Pramanyam and Arthavatvam of the Upasana Vakyas. Correct? But when you are going to do that, are you not, say, when you want to encourage a person to do the Upasana to go to Brahmaloka, then naturally he wants to go to Brahmaloka, he doesn't want to go to the Swargaloka. And those Vakyas which are giving you the methodology of going to the Swarga, the heaven, will they not be ignored and neglected by you? Yes, it will be. Now, over there, you are able to understand and you are able to compromise with the position that this Vakya will become, that karma vidhi will become meaningless. You are able to accept that. But when it comes to this particular upasana vidhi, that which it may become meaningless, over there now you are raising a hue and cry. What is that? Tarhi karma vidhayaka shastrasyapi tathatva prasangat न च कर्मफलानित्यत्वज्ञाने रागवशात् प्रवृत्ति संभवेन कर्मशास्त्रस्य न अप्रामाण्यम् अनर्थक्यञ्च इति वाच्यम्. Yeah, what is that? Such a. Yeah, leave that first word. Touch. It should be either touch. Okay, if you want to say anything, it should be touch, not touch. There is nothing like touch. Then what will happen? That touch will be touch. So it will be, the sandhi will be touch, touch, and double ch. Okay. Touch, karma phala nityatva jnanepi. Now, say suppose, and why suppose, this Swargaloka, going to this Swargaloka is the result of Agnihotradi karma. It is not the result of Upasana. The Upasana will take you to another celestial world called as Brahmaloka. Now you understand the difference between heaven, Swargaloka, and Brahmaloka. Okay? Brahmaloka is higher than Swargaloka because it is the result of Upasana and it is the result of something that is still subtler. Karma is physical action of every day giving the ahutis in the fire, oblations in the fire. So now, look at this. He says, the Purva Paksha says, hey, by me saying Brahmaloka, one should go to Brahmaloka and there is an Upasana to go to Brahmaloka, by my saying so, the Karma Shastra does not become meaningless. You ask, why will the Karma Shastra not become meaningless? He says, the Karma Shastra will not become meaningless because those who are having the Ichha, Raga, desire to go to Swargaloka. Now look at this. Let us pause over here for just a minute to understand the difference a little, mota moti, difference between Swargaloka and Brahmaloka. Now, this Swargaloka is a place where pleasures are in prachurya matra, are in ample measure. Swarga, so where the indriyas are satisfied. But Brahmaloka is a place where the mind is satisfied. Okay. So over there in Brahmaloka, it is shown that Chaturmukh Brahma in this Hiranyagarbha is giving the Upadesha. And there are these people who are silently sitting, all these rishis, and they are absorbed in meditation. Now, this Sukham of meditation is way far more than the excitement of the Indriyas. This excitement of the Indriyas, etc., is available there in the Swargaloka. Now he says that those who are interested in going to Swargaloka, though Brahmaloka is higher to the Swargaloka, yet he will be attracted to Swarga and he will do the karma. Therefore, that Karma Shastra does not become meaningless. Even when we are talking to you about Brahmaloka, Upasana Shastra. Therefore, in that, why has it not become meaningless? Because there is an adhikari, there is a person who is interested in wanting to go to Swargaloka. Therefore, he will do the karma. And since he will do the karma shastra is meant for him. And therefore, it will still be meaningful for such a person. Karma shastrasya na apramanyam anarthakyancha. If this is true, then it is true in our case also. Tarhi prakriti tulyatvat. So let it be. So those, what is it that has made? What is it that has made that Karma Shastra Arthavan, Arthavat, and also it has given the Pramanyam to that Karma Shastra, your Vasana. So also those who have the Vasana to go and meditate, for them Brahmaloka will become important, and that Shastra will also become important, and therefore it will not lose significance. You were afraid that by saying that Brahmaloka is also impermanent, by showing Brahmaloka is impermanent, people will not be able to undertake that upasana. So that was your fear, and that fear is not there. Because just as in case of the karma, shastra, somebody who is interested in going to the heaven will of course follow that karma shastra in the same manner. The another person who is interested in going to the meditation class, that in that Brahmaloka, will naturally be interested to go over there, and he will do the upasana. For him, that upasana shastra will still retain meaning, arthavatvam. Okay. But now, tad yatheha karmachito lokakshiyate evameva mutra punyachito lokakshiyate ityadi shrutehe श्रवण विधि अपेक्षिततया भूतार्थवादत्वेन स्वर्गार्थवादवत् स्वार्थे प्रामाण्य संभवेन पुण्यकार्यस्य ब्रह्मलोकान्तस्य अनित्यत्वम् एव. The Shruti says, just as in this mortal world, the joys come to an end. Okay? Whatever that joy may be, whether it is the joy of eating food, or it is your joy of being appreciated by others, or it is simply the joy of, some physical satisfaction, so on and so forth. Whatever that joy may be, yet it comes to an end. Why? Because this joy was the result of your punya karma. So, just as we understand that anything which is a result of karma, anything which is a result of karma comes to an end. So also from this now we are able to understand, Shruti gives the Anuman that even the Svargaloka is also the result of karma. And therefore, even that is also limited in time. It is also limited in time. It will come to an end. Okay. It is also limited in time. Where is that one? Ityadi Shrutehe Shravana Vidhyapekshtataya Bhutatvadattvena Swargarthavadat Swarte Pramanya Sambhavena Punyakaryasya Brahmalokantasya Nityatvam. So now this Vakyam, which is talking about the heavenly worlds also are impermanent. This Vakyam is Bhutarthvada. It is not Prashansarthvada, it is Bhutarthvada. This Brahmaloka, which is a result of Upasana, is also a result, of some Punya karma, and that Punya is generated by Upasana. Though it is in form of meditation, yet it is what? A karma. And therefore, this Brahmaloka is also karma phalam. And by that virtue, because it is karma phalam, it is bound to be what? It is bound to be impermanent. Now, this whole discussion which we are holding is very much in reference to the context of those who are coming from the Vedic background, those who know Svargaloka or the Brahmaloka, etc. Okay, I will give you a little story over here. Those people who are saying that the celestial worlds of their gods, Vaikuntha Loka, etc., is permanent. We are saying even if one attains the Vaikuntha Loka, it is not permanent. You cannot be there permanently. That Loka is also not permanent. Why, sir? Why are you saying so? Because here is one incident. It so happened that there were these great rishis, and their name is the Sanat Kumaras, who are eternally in the sense always in the body of a 5-year-old child. So there are these 4 brothers, quadruplets, and same age, and all of them are eternally in that 5-year-old body. And therefore, these boys are not bothered about wearing clothes or anything, as it is they are great rishis absorbed in samadhi all the time. And therefore, their Brahmajnanam, because of that strength of that Brahmajnanam, now they are totally careless about the body, though their body is always of that 5-year-old child. And whether they wear clothes, they don't wear clothes, they're moving about naked, nobody's bothered, and that is how they move about in all 3 worlds. One day, they go to this Vaikuntha Loka, where Bhagavan Vishnu resides. Now, the Dwarpalas, Jaya and Vijaya, these fellows, who are the doorkeepers of Vaikuntha Loka, they saw that these young small boys who are not even wearing clothes now want to go and stand in front of Vishnu. So they say that you are not allowed to go wear clothes, chaddi and come. So now these rishis, they say, these people to stop entering the Lord's abode. So these little boys are what? They are enraged because of this arrogant behavior of these Dwarpalas. And they say that you are not fit to be the doorkeepers of Vaikuntha. You shall become asuras, some demons, and fall in the mortal world. No, they have cursed them to become the demons. And so both of them, now one becomes Hiranyakashipu and the other one becomes Hiranyaksh. And Bhagavan Vishnu, therefore, and they pray to Bhagavan Vishnu that Bhagavan, though we will become asuras, that means we cannot have devotion for you. Love, to have that, this love is not possible. Then what will we have? That we will always look upon you as our enemy. Though that we may look upon you as our enemy, at least let give us the boon that the enmity between you and us, let that be so intense that we may not forget you even for a minute. Bhagavan Vishnu says, all right, this is how you shall become the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and I will come to the mortal world to free you from that body of the asuras. I shall slay you, and then you will come back to this Vaikuntha Loka again as the doorkeepers. And next time you shall remember that not in the arrogance of the power, etc., that you have, not to insult the rishis, the great wise sages. Okay, that is the advice that Bhagavan Vishnu gives. And so the story continues that Bhagavan comes as in the form of the Varaha avatar and the Simha avatar, and then they are relieved from the bodies of that demon. Now, being demons. Now, over here, what do we understand? Even if there is a devotee and he has attained the Vaikuntha Loka, yet they were pushed down and they have to come down again into the mortal world to live the mortal life. No matter how powerful, but yet mortal life. And so to say that such celestial worlds are permanent is not true. It is not permanent. No one is lodged over there permanently. And therefore, you will be allowed to stay over there only as long as your punya is there. So from this, we understand that that all this Brahmaloka, etc., the celestial worlds, by the virtue that they are karmaphalas, they are also impermanent. And therefore, to say something that is impermanent, to call something that is impermanent as permanent is avidya. Now, you know, this is in the Vedic context. But look at us. Do we don't want, somebody wants his, the complexion to remain glowing forever. Even the dead body should shine. But does that so happen? Does the skin not age? Do the hair, do they not become gray? Everything happens. But the person refuses to acknowledge it. And he strives that it should remain permanently like this. And therefore, that what is impermanent, the person wants either to make it permanent or considers it to be permanent. And this is the first aspect of Karya Avidya, wherein that what is anityam, impermanent, is seen as permanent. Okay? Karya Avidya. Okay. Now, because this Brahmaloka Vishaya is quite elaborate. Now you have understood this much is enough. Those who have an idea about what is Brahmaloka, what is the upasana of the Brahmaloka. Now, for such people, for such a student who is a little prepared, this is an interesting topic. But this topic may not hold you or hold your interest in the text if it is elaborated more. Therefore, all that we have to understand is what is Karya Avidya? Saying, calling something that is impermanent as permanent is Karya Avidya. Okay, so page number 86. Then he explains the second aspect of the Karya Avidya, that Ashuchishu Shuchitva Buddhi, that what is apavitra. How will you say apavitra? That what is not holy. That what is not holy is called as holy. Ashuchishu. And what is not holy? Hey, this body itself. In a way, what is this body? Is it not a bundle of feces and urine and everything that is abhorrent? What is that word? Abhorrent. There is something that should be, that is, that something should be neglected. That is the thing that which this body is. Say suppose if there was a bag of feces or a bag of urine, will you very happily keep it in your drawing room and nice thing? Here it is. Will you do that? No. Even if it is, some emperor's feces, you're not going to keep it in your drawing room and exhibit it to people. Look at this. This body of ours is well packed. But what is it? Is it not feces and urine and blood and bones and things like that, flesh? But then this is displayed. This is me. This is nice. So something that is ashuchi is projected as shuchi, as holy. Ashuchishu swa sharira putra bharyadi sharireshu shuchitva buddhi. Now he who has this feeling that this body, since it is my body, it is very holy, or my son's body, my wife's body, etc. Very good. Look at that. Golden, very pavitra. I was in some place and in that spiritual organization, then that guru had a thing of giving the leftovers from his plate to people. So I told you also. I had asked, I don't mind. Will you also take mine? If I give you leftover from my plate, will you take mine? My leftover. It is told to the Shishya that he should accept it as prasad. But now this guru makes it a point that he makes you feel that this is a prasad. It is the duty of the Shishya to think about it as prasada buddhi. Not meant for the gurus for his own self-glorification. And why, from where is this arriving? So for that guru, this body for which the leftovers are left over here, Uchishtam, is very good, it's pavitram, and so let them have it. This is Karya Vidya. He can be a guru, but whatever is there is his. There is a stark display of this Karya Vidya. Ashuchishu Swa Sharira Putra Bharyadi Sharireshu Shuchitva Buddhi Apara. This is the second aspect. Okay. Now this is uh, now this is explained further in the commentary section. He says Malamutra Purnatvat Sharirasya Ashuchitvam. Now, why are you calling this body, the physical body, as unholy? Why should it be called as unholy? Look, this is so good, the physical body. Now, you know, these people who are infatuated with the physical body, with the body, for them, even to say that the physical body is unholy, now these people will raise a hue and cry. They will raise a human. This is how anti-life the Shastra is, and you people have made this thing like that, and you have made anti-life, and there is nothing anti-life or anything. You just tell us, is this body not a bundle of flesh and feces and urine? Just that the compartments are there, but it is a bundle. It is a collection of feces and urine. And therefore, malamutra purnatva sharirasya shuchitvam. And it will say that this body oozes from wherever it oozes, whether it has the small pores from where the sweat oozes, or the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, the rectum, the anus, you know, from wherever fluids, etc., come out of this body, what is good about it? Is it not foul smelling? It is. Malamutra purnatva charirasya shuchitvam taduktam bijat sthanat kashtam dhan nisyanana vidhanadapi kayam madheya shauchatvat panditaya shuchim viduho. Now one has to imagine that this body is holy and now therefore is available to do the holy actions, the rituals, etc. So the shuchitva, the holiness of this body is something that is imagined. Adheya. It is Jatu, and therefore the wise people already recognize this physical body as Ashuchi. Amedya Purnam Krumijala Sankulam Swabhava Durgandhamashauchamadruvam Kalevaram Mutra Purisha Bhajanam Ramanti Mudhana Ramanti Pandita Iti. Amedya Purnam. This is something amedhyam. You know, this cannot be called as an offering to the gods. Amedhyam. Krimijala Sankulam. The whole body is what? It is a big web of various krimi. Krimi means this microbes, bacteria, etc. Okay, and worms. Krimijala Sankulam Swabhava Durgandham Ashauchamadhruvam. So also, how is this body? By nature, it is foul smelling. Swabhava Durgandham Ashaucham, unholy, and Adhruvam, impermanent. Kalevaram, this body, how is it? Mutra Purisha Bhajanam is only a basket of a vessel of mutra, urine, and feces. Okay? Mutra Purisha Bhajanam Ramanti Mudha. And those who are infatuated only take pleasure in such vessel of feces, not the Pandita. Pandita means not the wise people. Naramanti Pandita iti. Ataha ashuchau shuchitva buddhi avidya iti aha ashuchishu iti. And therefore, to add this one aspect of the karya avidya to show the karya avidya ashuchishu shuchitva buddhi. This is added for this reason. That which is apavitram is considered to be pavitram, and basically it is talking about the body. Shuchitvam nirmalatvam pratikula veda. Then next, what is the next in line? The third aspect of the karya avidya is dukkheshu, dukkha sadhaneshu cha, sukha tat sadhana buddhihi anya. Now he says, in the experience of dukkham, or even those things which will generate dukkham. Actually, dukkham is the result, and that which generates dukkham is the means. Then what happens when a person has viparita buddhi, exactly opposite? Then he will consider that dukkham as sukham, and even that which will generate the dukkham as something that generates sukham. This is karya avidya. Dukkheshu dukkha sadhaneshu sukhatva buddhi sukha sadhanatva buddhi. Where is he seeing sukha sadhanatvam? In dukkha sadhan. Where is he seeing sukham? In dukkham. And therefore, dukkheshu sukhatva buddhi and dukkha sadhaneshu sukha sadhanatva buddhi will happen. Now he will explain. What is dukkham? Pratikula vedaniyam pidakmakam dukkham. What is called as dukkham? Something is pratikula vedaniyam. Something that is known, seen, experienced as not conducive to you is dukkham. And this is a very good explanation, our definition. Not conducive. Something may be conducive to him, but it is not conducive to me. There are people who can do that Shirshasana very comfortably for half an hour. But for somebody like me to do it even for 1 minute and 2 minutes, 3 minutes, hold oneself like that is too much. So it is, then after it becomes dukkham. This fellow for half an hour also is okay. As good as him standing straight. Because there are people who do, they used to do this whole Durga Saptashati upside down in Shirshasana. Maybe when Durga comes, she also has to look like that then, because his head is down. Anyway, so what? Pratikula vedaniyam pidatmakam dukkham. So what is dukkham? That which is painful, that what is non-conducive is called as dukkham. The person has what? He will have sukha buddhi in that what is dukkham. Tat sadhanam. And what is the sadhanam? Brahmahanana upe apeyapanadi. So what will bring dukkham is basically result of papa. Then this person, he who has done the Brahmahatya, or he who takes to the Surapan, drinking alcohol, immediately it may be your pleasure. But drinking alcohol is an action. This action will bear adrishtam, and that adrishtam that this action generates is papa. We are not saying that alcohol immediately will bring you dukkha. That need not be told. If a person becomes alcoholic, then naturally, his family breaks, he loses job, he loses confidence, several things will happen. But we are talking about adrishtam, pap, and thus, therefore, Brahma Hatya, etc., or Surapan will bring dukkham. So, this is the means. But what does this person think? By murdering such a person, I will become happy. Or by taking to alcohol, I will become happy. So now he sees happiness as a result of murder, and he sees happiness as a result of something that is papa kriya. And therefore, Brahmahanana apeyapanadi tat sadhanam anukula vedaniyam prityatmakam sattva sukham tat sadhanam brahmapujanam ganga jalapanadi. But what is sukham? Anukula vedaniyam, something that makes you feel comfortable living with yourself. Is sukham. And it is basically what this the sattva vritti. It is a sattva vritti. And so the sadhanam is brahmana pujanam, the pujana of the teachers and learned people, brahmana, and ganga jalapana, take the tirtha, etc. Because this is what will generate punyam. Dukkha. But now look at that. That which is dukkha or dukkha sadhana, the person has what buddhi? This is sukham or sukha sadhanam. Okay? And therefore, this one king, Muchukunda, he was the devotee of Sri Krishna. He said, Vimohitoyam janaishamayaya vadiyaya tvam na bhajatyana sadrak sukhaya dukkha prabhaveshu sajjate griheshu yoshet purushashcha vanchitaha vimohitoyam janaha. O Lord, the world of people, this world of people is totally deluded, infatuated, vimohitaha jana. Hey, Isha, O Lord, this world is deluded by this illusory power. And vadiyaya amna bhajati anarthadrak, and therefore they do not take refuge at your feet. Tvamna bhajati anarthadrak. But what does he therefore plan? Everything that will destroy him. Anarthadrak. अनर्थ करने वाला ही उसकी चीजों वही दिखता है उसको. So he is anarthadrak sukhaya dukkha prabhaveshu sajjate. He strives to become happy, but he does everything that can bring unhappiness. He is striving to become happy, but does exactly opposite, which will create unhappiness, and therefore all his effort is a waste. Sukhaya dukkha prabhaveshu sajjate griheshu yoshet purushashcha vanchitaha. And therefore such a person attached to women and men and power and position and property, all these things, what happens to him? Vanchitaha. He is only living a life of self-deception. Vanchitaha iti. Iyam asmakam sarvesham pratyaksha siddha cha iti ataha dukkhadishu sukhadi buddhira vidya iti suktim iti suktam itiyaha dukkheshu shesham spashtatam. And therefore Therefore, now even to understand this body as me, that this is anatma padartha, the body, the mind, the indriyas, is what? Not the self. To understand that as self is also the fourth aspect of karya avidya. So now when we are saying the puryashtakam, there is avidya, and that avidya which is shown over there in the puryashtakam is karya avidya. Okay, it is karya avidya. How is this karya avidya? That what is impermanent is seen as permanent. That what is unholy is seen as holy. That what is what is it called? That what is ashuchi is seen as shuchi, unholy. That what is dukkha rupa is seen as sukha rupa, and that what is anatma is seen as atma. Exactly opposite. And therefore this is karya avidya shesham spashtartham. The rest of it is all clear to you. Now in the puryashtakam, what did he say? There are eight categories. One is the five bhuta sukshmas, the subtle elements. Then the five jnanendriyas, five karmendriyas, five pranas, then mana and antakarana chatushtaya. Then what are the other three? Avidya, kama, and karma. Out of which we have seen avidya, and this avidya is karya avidya. It has got these four aspects. Okay. Now we are going to see what is karma and what is karma. Thus, when this is understood, we now are able to understand what is the final meaning of this puryashtakam. All right. So we will stop over here for now. Om Brahmaham yad prasadena mai vishwam prakalpitam Srimad Swayam Prakashakyam Pranavami Jagatan Guru Yak Paramatma Jagat Srishtva Ravivesha Punaswayam Tam Krishnan Pratyagatmanam Vande Gopi Manoharam. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaa Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashakatau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Mukti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all. Thank you very much.